there is this big guru who has this humongous movement, and crores of people are following him now. Upon what? He saw that somebody offered prasad to the Shivalinga, and the mouse came and ate the prasad. And he says, what good is this Shivalinga? It cannot protect its own prasad from a little mouse. What is it going to protect me? How is it going to protect me? If it cannot protect its own prasad from a mouse, what can it do for me? But these rascals, they don't know that that mouse is also the son of that Shivalinga. Why would you protect something edible from your own son? Why would you? You're happy that your son or daughter is eating out of your plate. It should give you happiness. Why do I have to protect? I don't have to protect. The mouse is mine too. That mouse is just as much mine as you are, who are dropping the water on the Shivalinga. To the Supreme Lord, there is no difference. Because I am on a bodily platform, I am thinking that, oh, I am God's and this mouse is somebody else's. No, mouse is not somebody else's. It's just as much God's as you are. Think about it. Does the mouse not have a soul? Any science book that says mice don't have souls? Not the computer mice, I'm not talking. The computer mice don't have souls. Okay? But the real mice, they have souls. If they have a soul and I have a soul, and we're both part and parcel of Krishna, we both belong to Him. So I'm sorry, but I am convinced that most of these speakers who are coming on, these asthas and sanskars, they don't really know what they're talking about. They're just trying to attract people and make money, and at the same time not giving the 100% pure information as explained by Srila Prabhupada for the benefit of all of the humankind. Was there another part to your question?
So, Prabhu, in context of your statement, the last one you have mentioned, what if you offer bhoga to the deities and mice come in? Where is the purity?
Where is the purity? When the bhoga is offered to the lordships, at that time you don't want mice to be coming there. But if the mouse comes, that's purity or impurity for you, for us, not for the Supreme Lord. Mouse you can see. There are so many other living entities in there. Can you see them? Are you protecting the bhoga from them?
We try to.
You try.
No,
but
what if
how are you going to try?
Kitchen has a mice or a thing, and a dog or cat is coming in your kitchen. Will you allow it? Being a human, like a living entity?
No, we will not.
So should we say like that, like when a mice come and eat a prasad and is a son of Shivalinga, and we consider it as auspicious?
No, not that. This is like open Hindu temples. You offer something, Pujari may come, remove it, clean it, or just leave it there all day temple is open. Then the mice come in, monkeys also come in, cat may also come in and drink the milk that is being offered to the Shivlinga coming out of the drain on the other side. Who drinks it? The cat will drink it. Right? But how does Krishna feel if the cat is having prasad?
He feels good. Happy. He's going to attain liberation.
Yes. You took the prasadam off the altar, you have prasad, you ate, there is more, you give it to the birds, or you give it to the birds first, and whatever else, the raccoon and the skunks and the gophers.
So then we through food we should not be distressed out of that because somebody is eating from the dustbin even.
No, Prabhu, when you leave food out for particular living entities outside in a place, is not called throwing food.
No, I mean by chance you throw even it's utilized.
Not by chance. You by chance. No, not by chance. By chance would be that. Did I tell you the story about this bhakta or person who was very miser, and people told him, look, whatever you eat, you should first offer to God in the temple. Bring it over here to the temple, offer it, then you can eat. But this miserly person is thinking, oh, if I bring it and God eats it, what would I get? So better not. But it's always on his mind that sometimes I should. But whenever he gets the food in the hand, he says, oh, well, I don't really want to lose it right now. So one day he was having mudi. You know mudi? Puffed rice. In a paper. So there is mudi in the paper. And he's trying to eat it. And the wind comes and blows it away. The paper is gone and the mudi is gone. Then he quickly shouts, Krishna, please accept the offering. It's gone out of my control anyway, so you might as well, I've been thinking of offering you something. So.
Yeah, we call it Urukhui Govindayam.
I don't know that much.
Yeah.
So, it is not by chance if you are particularly living for some other living entity, which is going to come in this show later, that how we're supposed to be looking after other living entities as well, which is good to do. But not that I put it in the garbage and hope that one day at the sanitary landfill somewhere one living entity will get it. That is not such a good thought. But you can take prasadam, leave it someplace for the birds, and then the birds will know where to get it. In every South Indian temple, there is a process, there is a place where the food is left for the birds, and the birds come and get the prasadam. The first offering comes out, goes to the birds first, and they know it's time. The offering must have come out at Mangalgiri. There they come, and they have their feast, breakfast, with the offering of Lord Nrsimhadev. So it will come in our show here next. But the point for now is that one thing is understanding that that mouse is made by Krishna. For him, he is a son or daughter as well. And the other thing is, okay, should we open up the altar now and every raccoon and skunk and everything goes and eats with Krishna? No, we cannot do that. We have to use our head and be practical and have some kind of cleanliness standard. But after that, if the animal ate it, Krishna doesn't have to protect that prasadam from the animal, because the animal is also a living being. So remaining silent and grave and avoiding unnecessary talk. How do you do that? Like this. Now this doesn't mean that we do not talk to our guests. We do not talk to people who have questions. They want to learn or understand something. Or people who want to find out where the salt is in the kitchen. Look, Prabhuji told me to ask to stay silent and grave, so I'm not going to tell you where the salt is. Yeah. So please use with caution. Remaining silent and grave is important, but speak when you have to speak. Who does it all the time? Always remaining grave and silent. Mother Kalindi, here is the next question. Why?
I talk when I need to talk.
That's your nature. What are the examples? We have a local example, Mother Kalindi.
Raslila Mataji.
Raslila Mataji is also that way.
Yes.
No unnecessary
She
talk.
only speaks. Yeah, when you ask her a question, and if she need to give the answer, then only she will answer. Otherwise, she won't. I
That's
know her
good.
for so many years.
Guru Maharaj is coming next week. You tell Guru Maharaj. Not that he already doesn't like Raslila. Another quality, he will be more proud of his disciple.
And Rajvasi Mataji.
He likes all his disciples. Which other Mataji?
Rajvasi Mataji.
Brajvasi? Which one is that?
Raslila's sister, younger sister.
Oh, the Masi.
Masi.
Oh,
The Samdin.
oh yeah, not my Masi. So here is the next, considering whether one is a body or the soul. We are a body and we are also a soul. We always have understanding that we are this body. Anybody ever forgets that? Any ache or pain comes, you're more reminded, yes, I am this body. My God, it hurts. So that is not difficult to remind yourself that we are this body. But also we need to remind ourselves that we are a soul residing in this body. This is Devarshi Narad's instruction, number 19, that we should get into a practice of always trying to understand and remind ourselves that we are not just this body, we are a soul residing in this body. We are not a body that is having a soul experience. We are a soul that's having a body experience. Right? Did I say that right? My English is a little challenged.
No. Very nice.
We are a soul that's having a body experience, not a body that's having a soul experience. So remaining grave and silent did I mention our guests? We should not be remaining grave and silent in front of the guests who are either looking at us for any kind of reciprocation or just wanting to be friendly or be greeted. That is not the time to remain silent and grave. I give you a practical example. There is this family I met someplace. I don't want to reveal it. And they were a family of a devotee, but they never became a devotee, and they hated devotees. They absolutely hated devotees. And I met them somehow or the other. For some reason they came to a class and then they heard something and then they wanted to talk. And they were telling me how much Krishna consciousness makes sense to them and so on. So I invited them to further programs and stuff. And later on they told me that we're actually related to such and such devotee. This is a well-known devotee. I don't want to reveal the name. Well-known devotee. And the problem they had with the devotee is when they would come to see him or something or the other, he would just sit there and chant his rounds. Would not properly greet them, look after them, and so on, just following the number 18 without discrimination. You know, I don't care you came here, it's my time to chant my rounds, and that's what I'm going to do. And you do what you want to do, you came at the wrong time, it's your problem. Because it's my time to chant my rounds, and that's what I'm going to do. We cannot do that. We should have time to chant our rounds. That's fine. I'm not saying don't have time to chant your rounds. But please, make exception for a guest. And when you come to Krishna consciousness, even your own family becomes kind of a guest. Because they are not there where you are. So now you become quote unquote devotee, then these other people are guests. You have to honor them, greet them, look after them. Even more than what you did for them when they were just family and you just looked at them as family. You have to do more now, not less. We cannot get away with less. We have to do more now. All right? So body or soul, what that means is to understand. And how does that help us to understand that we are the soul and not the body, or soul that is having a body experience, not the body that's having a soul experience? How does that help us in Krishna consciousness?
It has to do with simplicity too, like you just have to be very, because this is just a body, and I don't know how to explain it, but
Okay.
I'll explain it when
All right. We will take Prasanatma Prabhu in the meantime.
So I forget which chapter it is in, but there is a picture also which says that if you just see the soul part of it, then you see everybody with equal vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, identifying yourself with a soul also helps you identify others as
Equal.
spirit souls or equals. How does that help?
Non-violence, the one you were talking yesterday, right?
Yeah. It helps with non-violence.
Discrimination.
It helps with discrimination.
Respect.
How? Respect. Respecting everyone. Yeah.
It helps us to
Quality?
see, sorry,
Sorry.
it helps us to see the God as eternal, and we undermining God impossible.
Yes. How else?
Quality.
Quality.
Equality.
Equality. Yes. Equality. And let me repeat the question for those who are not clicking. How does it help in our spiritual life to understand that we are a soul, not a body? How does it help in our spiritual life to understand that we are a soul, not a body? Yes.
So if you understand the soul concept, there will be no Abhiman. I am man, woman, young, old. The soul is a soul.
Yes. So
There
more,
should be no Abhiman.
Makes you humble.
yes, you're supposed to raise your hand, Kalina. Moini back there is raising her hand. Huh? Helps you get more detached.
Detached to your body. Right?
When that you're just a soul, it helps you know that it's you're not attached. Yeah.
Yes. Helps you detach yourself from the material body, material possessions, other material things that we like to sometimes identify ourselves as. Like if I ask you, where are you parked? What would you say? I'm parked over here. Not really.
My
You
God.
parked over here. Right? I'm parked over there. No, I'm actually double parked. In the front.
My battery is down.
What about I'm out of gas?
Same thing.
But we never say, I got stolen. We always say, my car got stolen. Everything else is okay. But I cannot get stolen. And I cannot be on fire. Then we remember, oh no, it's my car that's on fire, it's not me. But when it's parked, it's me. When it's out of battery, it's me. When it's out of gas, it's me. So, as Moini is suggesting, that understanding ourselves as spirit soul helps us become more detached with the material possessions, entanglements, attachments, and what have you. Anything else? Anybody would like to bring up? Yes?
We also get detached on beautifying
Yes.
ourself
Yes.
instead of beautifying our soul.
Less trips to the
To the salon, to the
salon.
pedicure and manicure.
So here is your next topic, number 20. Distributing food equally to all living entities, both men and animals. I am not saying this, I am not making this up. This is coming right from Srimad Bhagavatam, given by Devarshi Narad to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Direct quotes. This is number 20. Distributing food equally to all living entities, both men and animals. How? Like this. Like this.
In India, we do that every day, right? Feed cow,
Yes.
cow,
Krishna feeds his cows by his own hand.
Even the mouse that comes and eats.
Yes.
Same thing.
But are you feeding him?
No, we're not feeding, but we can leave prasad for him.
What if Mickey came?
Huh?
What if Mickey came from Disneyland? You'll feed him? No?
Yeah, but there's always so much prasad left over, like everywhere in the mandar,
Yes.
and they come and eat,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So we should be distributing prasadam equally to all living entities. We should not refrain from, oh no, prasad cannot be eaten by any animals or birds or such, or that is like a waste. No, it's not a waste if they eat it. We think, sometimes we get into thinking only human consumption is the right use of prasadam and everything else is a waste. According to Devarshi Narad, that's not the case. In many of our temples, as I said previously, the prasadam is, actually portion of prasadam is first taken for the animals and the birds before the humans get it. So I am not saying that we should change our system to that, but in the Bhagavatam, distributing food equally to all living entities is suggested. Seeing every soul, especially in the human form, as part of the Supreme Lord. Like that. Every soul we should be seeing as part of the Supreme Lord. I guess we already discussed it, courtesy of Mohini Devi in the previous point. How is it possible? Why is it so important? We already discussed all that. How many can do it? This one we did not discuss. How many can see every soul, especially in the human form, as a part of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Any volunteers who can do that or do already do that?
It will be, as we discussed, it will be gradual, but you are definitely you can do it.
Where does it say gradual?
No, I am saying that we discussed
Oh, you
earlier,
are
it was
saying.
for us,
Oh.
for me.
So first we understand where we stand, then we go, okay, where we need to go from here. So we're trying to understand where we actually stand right now. Since no hands are going up, we don't stand very well. So then we know that here is something that, as Mother Bela suggested, that gradually we should work on. She is a holder of a newly installed Srimad Bhagavatam set in her home now. And we have a few other devotees in line. Lakhanpal back there, and Kalindi Mataji, and Meena who did not show up, and Mishir. Mishir's representative is there?
No,
Venus.
Venus' son
Which
raised the
one?
hand. Yeah, Madhav.
Oh, yeah, he is here.
Madhav is not here, but I am.
Veena's representative is here. Oh, that's why you were raising a hand. I thought you had a question. You are such a good boy. And who else? Yeah, Mishir Paul. So we have these devotees in line, and Sadev Prabhu also has a couple of others. So we look forward to more Bhagavatam installations.
So
My God, if we keep going like that in Calgary, we would have 5,000 temples, just like in Vrindavan. How would you like that? To have 5,000 temples in Calgary, just like in Vrindavan.
Very good.
Hari Bol!
You have to come quite often here.
Because I have one question on the previous point. So, there you mentioned in the last point, how can, there is difficulty that people are having difficulty in following that principle. So the question was, what is obstruction, what is stopping that now? What is obstruction? Is there that you cannot accept it?
Conditioning.
Is what is stopping people from
Conditioning.
conditioning?
Because we are used to of understanding ourselves as a body, we understand others as a body. So if we only understand others as a body, we only see their body, we do not see a soul inside. So from a bodily platform, this person A belongs to some other family or whatever, and me, I belong to this other family or whatever, so I'm related. But if I see myself on a soul platform and see him or her on a soul platform, then I can clearly see the relation that we are the same family. She is a part and parcel of Krishna and so am I. So we are brother and sister on that level, or whatever, Bang or Masi or Bhai or Kaka, whatever label we give it, but we are on the same platform on the soul level, right? So it helps us recognize that and cultivate that.
There's a sloka in the Bhagavad Gita also.
Just a second, he's not finished.
Yeah, no,
Next.
that went very good, thank you for that. The other question I was going to ask is, so who is going to come and install the Bhagavatam in the houses?
His Grace Sahadev Das Prabhu.
I'm getting two answers.
Oh, that means you have multiple choices. There's Prasannatma here, Kardam Muni Prabhu, Bal Govinda Prabhu, Ved Vyas Prabhu, anyone you ask for. We are all at your service.
No,
You just name one.
that helps me understand, thank you.
We are all at your service. Whoever you ask for will come and install the Bhagavatam set at your home. You just give us a name. And the Matajis will also come. Yes, Prabhuji wants to explain something.
Sloka in Bhagavad Gita also says same thing, in chapter 5, I think, Jnana Yoga, that whoever sees, Krishna says that whoever sees everyone in me, and me in everyone is dear to me.
Yes.
It's in Bhagavad Gita, somewhere in Bhagavad Gita.
So
And
Narad Muni is
if we
trying.
can do that, there won't be any hatred in the world, there won't be any war in the world, everybody will live peacefully, If we can do that.
This is the real peace formula. Maybe what we should do is take more later. Tomorrow we are at 22 out of 30. So we're doing pretty good. Is it okay? Could we take any, is there any final questions? Final questions for the day?
So probably you will visit to the people who does not have Bhagavatam in their house. How about people who does have Bhagavatam, you will not visit?
I have some cards here. Those who want to connect with me any electronic way can come and take a card.